I feel like this year is a band-aid I have to rip off. So welcome. This is my yearly Christmas Eve vlog. It is December 24th, 2020. I'm sure people don't even like the sound of the year 2020. I know I didn't. But every year on Christmas Eve, as some of you, if you've been watching, know, or if you are just joining for some reason on this 13th installment that I've done, since I've been doing it since 2008, I do a video every year on this day because I know that I can remember to do it, and it's sort of like a journal or a time capsule capture of this is my life and this is where I was or am and what's happened and what I'm doing. And I try to be very honest with myself. I do put it out there publicly, just because that was the forum, that was YouTube at the time. Some people think it's cool. It gives me more of a direction for who I'm talking to, even though a lot of the times I'm talking directly to myself in the future, because one of the things that I used this video for was a coping mechanism back when I was in 2008. So what was I, like 24, something like that? I had a really tough holiday, and I wanted to look at the video and I wanted to look back and go, oh, it gets better, things get better, your life changes. And I mean, this has been proof to me this is the 13th time I've done it, so 12 years or so. Every time things are different. And I keep looking around, you're probably like, what is he doing? And if you watch the other ones, you know that I have my dogs, and they are, I think they instinctually know that when I start doing this, because they start like moving around. They're like, oh crap, because I always like run off and grab them and give an update for them. So let me get that out of the way. Arrow, come here. Arrow, come here, buddy. Come here, good boy. Arrow, come. Lex, I'll have to go get. Come here, Arrow. Come here. Let's go. Come here, big boy. All right. So this is Arrow. Arrow was once a puppy, and now he's gonna kick the camera over. Oh boy. Arrow is 6 years old. He's my light bulb head. He's one of my best friends. Same goes to Lex, who I'll show in a second, but he's the best. He's a cuddler, and he will always be there for you. Always. Right, Arrow? Mwah. Good boy. Good boy. And everybody thinks Arrow is named after Green Arrow because of Lex is named after Lex Woofer or Lex Luthor, the play on it. But Arrow is actually named after Harry Nilsson, a song I watched from The Point, which was an animated kids movie when I was a kid. It was Me and My Arrow was the song. All right, go lay down. Go. Up you go. And then Lex is not as spry or as camera friendly, camera shy, but Lex is 13. He'll be 14 in February, but he's still doing good, still kicking. But I'll let him down. He's a good boy, Lex. Old man Lex, right? All right. So that's sort of like the easy stuff. So what did 2020 have in store for us? And I'm probably overcompensating. I seem a little bit more energetic or a little more happy or positive, but sometimes that's what you have to do with years like 2020. A year ago, I was in I'll be honest, I was in a bad place. I got married in June. If you watch the other installments, you'll remember my now ex-wife. And this was a debate for me. This is part of the pulling off the Band-Aid part, because this is how my year started. Was she moved out. I think I had done this video obviously on Christmas Eve, and she had moved out maybe like 3 or 4 days later. And then that was pretty much it. We had very little contact, and she moved for it pretty quick. And I debated on how much information to put out there, because this is sort of the only time I'll ever talk about it, because it is a personal issue. But I basically, same thing I said last year, because I always watch my old videos before I do this, is I'm not going to put that out there. I know that I've heard that some people have heard what they think happened, and if those people have heard those things, they can always come to me and ask. I'm pretty open about stuff, especially stuff that is not accurate, and that's kind of where I'll leave it. I was not in a good place, though. I mean, that was 2020 started off that I did not want that at all. I kind of had to go along with that, and it was very quick. I was married in June, and we started the separation process in September, and she was out by December, and that was it. That's all she wrote, so to speak. And yeah, it's tough. I'm trying to like gloss over it, but it was a rough year because not only did that happen, then as the rest of the world knows, in March, end of February, early March, COVID hit. And unless you're, just arriving to Earth from a long expedition, or you've been living in the wilderness, you know what COVID is. COVID-19 or coronavirus was a world pandemic that started in China, so they think, who knows, crossed overseas to us around, when they started actually following up on it around mid-March, and we entered a quarantine. So suffice it to say, we had to work from home. We were allowed to leave the house, but we didn't if you were following guidelines on the way you should have. And I was alone in this big old house. I'm still in the same house that I was in last year. And luckily, one of my best friends, probably talked about him in the past, Pat, he came to stay with me. He thought he was only coming for like a week or so because of the quarantine and COVID, and then it wound up lasting. I mean, it's still basically going on, but he was here from mid-March all the way until June before he finally decided, hey, I've been here for months with only a week's worth of clothing. I think I'm going to move in. And I had been basically begging him to move in prior to that and all. So that was the one positive ray that came out of this year. But that whole period of time was just a blur. It was, I would work from home, but if you've ever worked from home, you realize like you don't get that same social interaction. You don't have your daily your routine starts to switch. I would be up too late, and I'd still have to get up early in the morning, and the days were just literally I would only go out maybe once or twice for every like 2 weeks, and that was just to wear my mask and my gloves and go to the grocery store, get what I needed to last 2 weeks, and then come back. And like the gym closed. I was starting to do the gym in January, and then I started doing like walks and all. But it's just I can't explain it, and I don't think I need to, because I think most of you know that. You know what it was like and how it went. So just compile that on top with an unwanted divorce, and that was the first half of my year until about June. At least I will say one of the major things that came out of that period of time was my creative energy and my creative flow for painting. I kind of chose this spot in my bedroom to sit, because I painted, as of today, I think around 21 paintings this year alone. Some of them I'm really proud of, like my David Bowie and the Fountain one that I did based off the movie The Fountain, and even the when Hamilton finally got released in July and I got to finally see it, I did the King George III painting, and I was really proud at the level of detail that I did. So I really pushed myself to experiment with painting and do stuff like that, and that was a real positive. That was a great thing that came out of this year, considering we couldn't leave home for most of it. After June, we were a little more lax with that, but I have not, I've only eaten out once, and I'll mention that in a second because that has to do with travel, but otherwise I still to this day haven't gone to indoor or outdoor dining, because I'm trying to be part of the solution, not part of the problem of the spread, and yeah, that's kind of where that went. I started getting a little more comfortable with being able to try to talk to people, and I started talking to Libby. Libby I've been seeing for a couple months now, and we've been hanging out, and I've been getting more into like board games and stuff. So she's been a great influence as well. She's always happy and fun, and I kind of need it after that quarantine. I needed that sort of company and that sort of reassurance after you go through something like I did. So that's been really great. But I definitely, because this is an honest video, my walls are up. They're really up, and I take everything one day at a time, because you have to when you were in the situation that I was in, and unknowing what the future holds. And I said last year, I mean, one of the things I had said was I hoped the year from now, like, I would be here with Steph, and I would be able to, like, say we got through it, and that's not what life's about. But I also said that I hoped a year from then I was happy, and I will say that life is built on many different levels, or has many different categories, and there are categories that I was miserable in that I'm better, but I'm not happy. And then there's other categories that I'm, like I said, creativity and like hobbies and alone time because of the quarantine, and my friends because Pat lives with me. Those are all like up here. And luckily, with going on off of Corona, nobody in my immediate family has suffered any illnesses or any health issues, so they're all doing fine and fantastic. My brother, my parents, my grandfather is even doing good. So I'm very thankful for that. Job-wise, because going off of Corona, I'm still at Johns Hopkins University. I'm still in my same position of Land Admin 3, but I do all my work from home right now. I do go occasionally into campus with approval to do things when nobody is there, but otherwise, this has been a weird year, and I am going to be honest, it's going to be hard going back to the office if and when that actually does happen. So I know they're just starting to distribute vaccine now. I know that we're probably going to be working remotely at least until the start of summer. So it's kind of where we're at with that. So I'm just riding that and enjoying working from home. I have my own home office set up, and it's a little more relaxed in the sense of, like, you take that morning routine out of I have to be up to get on the road to get here and I had to be up to start my job. It's a lot easier, a lot less stressful, and it was definitely something I needed this year. There was a lot of things that sort of came into play to push me around either way. So all that being said, I hope I didn't, like I said, I hope I didn't say anything that came off too much, because my goal of this video was not to sit here and be bitter and to throw shade on another person. It was just to be as honest as I could without doing that. If I'm honest to myself, I'm not happy with the way things went. I never was happy, never wanted that, but people are difficult, people are complicated, and the best thing you can do is go along to get along until you can't, and just find the positivity in whatever you can. So with that, 2020 is thankfully coming to an end. But who knows what 2021 will hold. I did, the one thing I was saying where I did go out and eat, Libby and I I didn't go anywhere this year except for, we went away for 4 days to Maine for her sister's wedding. It was very small, it was like 8 people, all outdoors, wearing masks and all. But it was the off season of Maine, so I got to hike Acadia again, which I haven't done in years. And Acadia, for as beautiful as it was in the summer, was just as amazing in the fall. So that was really fantastic, and we were able to eat lobster and all at some restaurants. But it was the off season, so that was really great because there was like nobody there. A nice vacation from the COVID and all, so to speak, since I had basically spent months indoors as a recluse. So. Yeah, but who knows what this upcoming year will hold. I'm really excited in a lot of ways. I want to keep painting. I redesigned my dining room to be more of a formal gaming room. I got to host my first D&D session for Halloween. We did a lot of D&D this year thanks to Sean, who has been our dungeon master, who hosted online when we couldn't get together for those months. So there was a lot of that holding us together too. So general, like, one part of my life, like I said earlier, was down here, but like the other part, like the people that I reconnected with, or the people that showed their support and their compassion towards me when I was going through these issues, I could only ever be so thankful. And if you were one of the few people that I confided in and needed help and guidance during all of that, trust me, it does not go unnoticed. It does not go unthanked, because I absolutely could not have done it with a lot of you. So I guess with that, I wish you all a happy, a Merry Christmas. I'm doing it earlier this year, too. Like, it's still Christmas Eve, but normally I do it at like midnight or whatever after I do all the things. I just felt like it was best to do this year, because normally I'm like dragging, and I wanted to have more energy while talking about this. But I wish you all a happy holiday, in case you don't follow Christmas, but also a healthy and safe New Year. I hope to see all of you soon back in social venues and out and about, because I know we all need it. And this joke, I've been making this joke for 13 years, and it may be this year's not the year to make it, but I will see you next year unless I die for some reason. So, I'll see you guys next year. And one more thing that I didn't address was, I don't know how I forgot this. I should have said it when I had the other dogs up. But you probably remember I had 3 dogs. Ripley was my border collie, or our border collie she was 2 years, she's 3 years this year. There isn't a day that goes by that I don't miss Ripley. Like the training that I had done with her, some of her tricks like kiss and all. As you could tell, I really love my family, both human and dog. And losing Ripley was honestly, it was a little devastating. So there's not a day that goes by. I just wanted to make sure I put that at the end of the video too, because I definitely I don't want that in the future. I don't want to look back and go, well, why didn't he mention Ripley? Because I remember missing Ripley so much. Yeah, every day I miss Ripley. Absolutely every day. So.